This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video here on my own personal YouTube channel. Thank you very much for taking the time to join me today. As always, it is very much appreciated. Going through a bit of a heat wave here in the UK, so it's had to be another evening recording here on this Wednesday evening. What we're going to do today is it's that time for my annual yearly video on the 2-year-old season yearling sales. The yearling sales will be next year's 2-year-olds in training, and there are a few very important sales coming up in Europe over the next, say, 8 weeks. The first one starts this coming weekend on the 16th of August at Deauville. So it is time to get the video out. What I like to do is I like to go and pick a first season stallion every year. And what we do in the video is we take a little look at the stallion. We take a look at his form. We take a look at the pedigree. I give my views on the stallion. And then we decide what lots of his for sale at the 3 sales that we look at could be worth buying for members of the general public. This is a public sale, so there is a chance that all the good horses could have been snapped up by owner breeders before they have a chance to hit the sales. So it is also always very difficult. This is, I feel. The last 2 years we did a Persian King video in 2023, and in 2024 the stallion I chose was Victor Ludorum. There are review videos, and people can watch those videos on the playlist I will leave at the end of this video to do with sales and articles, sales and stuff on YouTube. And there is always a chance to go back and revisit them as well. We've also done review videos at the end of their 2-year-old season. I've reviewed the Persian King videos. And I will also do the Victor Ludorum video, which is this season, after this season. And the 3-year-old campaign at the end of this year, I'll do Persian King this year. And Victor Ludorum next year. The Persian King having his first 3-year-old crop this year. And Victor Ludorum having his first 2-year-old crop. So this first 2-year-old crop is for 2026, not this year. I will emphasise that. So, without further ado, let's get cracking, shall we? Before we take a look at the stallion, what I will do is I will show you the 3 sales that we are interested in. Firstly, the first sale is at Arqana. The Arqana Premier Sale starts on the 16th of August and runs until the 18th of August. 307 lots to be sold at this sale. The next one after that takes place at Goffs, and it is called the Premier Yearling Sale of 2025, held in the UK at Doncaster. And that sale is held on Wednesday the 27th and Thursday the 28th of August, with 10 a.m. starts on both days. And then last but not least, the last sale we're interested in takes place at Tattersalls at Newmarket, and it is book 1 of the October yearling sale, which starts on the 7th of October and ends on the 9th of October 2025. So people can see that these sales are starting quite quickly. So as ahead of this video, the sale starting on the 16th, we need to make sure this video is out and ready ahead of the sales. So that is why the video is being done this week. So without further ado, let's take a look at this year's stallion. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Naval Crown. Naval Crown is available for a 2025 stud fee of €9,000, standing at Darley Stud in Ireland, at Kildangan Stud in County Kildare. The horse is 15.3 hands high, according to these, and was born in 2018. He is, as you can see there, the horse commenced stud duties in Ireland in 2023. The horse hasn't shuttled anywhere else at this stage, like they do with some of their stallions that get them down in the Southern Hemisphere. Whether that's because Naval Crown, they think Naval Crown won't sell down there. Well, who knows why they haven't done that. But you can see that Naval Crown, no horses on the ground, which is exactly why he is the focus of this video. People can take a look at the pedigree of Naval Crown. You will see that the horse is sired by Jubawi out of a dam called Come Alive. And the dam line of Naval Crown is dam line number 23. You'll see in his career, the horse had 20 starts in his career, 4 wins, 3 seconds and 5 thirds. 12 out of 20 starts in the first 3. And the horse earned 978,160 UK pounds in his career. We'll take a look at his form now. We'll do that using the racing post. It's fair enough. I think the horse, you'll see there, has managed to win 3 of stakes races. Every one of his races, every one bar 2 of his 20 races, took part at stakes level. Only the first 2, only 2 of his races. You'll see he was 3rd in the Chesham behind Chindit in 2020 before the horse, the Pat Edwy Stakes, sorry, at Ascot, not the Chesham. My mistake, I just looked at the course and the distance. He was 2nd, 3rd in that before he'd even won a race behind Chindit in July 2020, and then was placed in 2 Group 3 races towards the end of 2020. In his 2-year-old campaign, the best rating he ran to was a mark of 103 that he gained when finishing 3rd behind Go Atletico in the 2020 Prix La Rochette held at Longchamp. You'll see there, a bit of a bookie's horse at the start, wasn't he? You'll see that the bookies very much had him on side through his 2-year-old campaign, and then they totally lost control of the horse. Totally lost control of it in the end. You'll see at Meydan as well, listed winner in 2021. The horse actually won the listed Meydan Classic of 2021 over a mile, where the horse beat Master of the Seas, subsequent Guineas runner-up that year, by 1 3/4 lengths. The horse also ran in the free handicap, beaten the neck by the Queen's Horse Tactical, where he was still on side a little bit there. And then he was 4th at 50-1 in the UK 2000 Guineas of 2021, in a year where my little website actually sired the, what was it, a website then? I can't remember. The first 4 home in the race were all identified by me. Yeah, but this one wasn't, sorry, at the time. The first 3 were. I didn't really follow this horse at this stage, if I'm honest. You'll see there that the horse was 2nd then in the 2021 Jersey Stakes, behind Creative Force, and then he was 8th in the Group 1 Prix Jean Prat, beaten by 10.5 lengths behind Law of Indices. And that was really the end of his 3-year-old campaign, where he did manage to finish 4th in a Group 1 and win a listed race, and he improved his best rating from 103 to 113 in the course of racing that year. Still a little bit more improvement to come, but not before he had won his first Group 2 race, when he won the Group 2 Al Fahidi Fort at Meydan in 2022, beating Story of Light by 1 length. He then turned in his best performance up to date in the Al Quas Sprint over 6 furlongs, where the horse was 4th behind A Case of You. So that was his 2nd Group 1 4th after Meydan at 20-1. It was then that the horse really did reward people that were patient enough to follow it all through its career, with a win at Group 1 level in the Platinum Jubilee Stakes of 2022, where the horse beat stablemate Creative Force and Neck, reversing the form from the 2021 Jersey. They were 1st and 2nd in the Jersey. They were 1st and 2nd in the Platinum Jubilee the year after. Creative Force at 33-1, running to a mark of 120 to land the race. He then proved that run wasn't a fluke, really, when he was 2nd of 13 behind Alcohol Free in the 2022 July Cup, in a race the Racing Post said was his best performance of his career. Racing Post rating of 121. So this horse is a Group 1, Group 2 and a listed winning horse through his career. His form then tailed off a bit at the highest level, 5th at Deauville in the Maurice de Geest, 13th in the Betfair Sprint Cup, 12th in the Champion Sprint Stakes, and last of all in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, Turf Sprint, on what proved to be the last start of his career. But you'll see that in June of 22, the horse was at its best when he won the Platinum Jubilee and was second in the July Cup. People will say this horse is a sprinter, Newman. You only do classics. Why are you picking this horse? Good question, I would say to you. It's very slim pickings this year. I don't necessarily think this horse was bred to be a sprinter. And I will show you why I think that when we look at the pedigree of the sire, Naval Crown, in a moment. You will see that he's beaten Master of the Seas there, that was a Guineas runner-up. Master of the Seas as a subsequent multiple Group 1 winner. And he's beaten that horse over a mile in a listed race at Maidan. They obviously saw the horse as a Guineas horse. He was second in the free handicap, which is a Guineas trial at Newmarket. Well, it was then, in them days. And the horse ran even in the Guineas. He was fourth, beaten behind Poetic Flair. It was only once they dismissed him as a Derby horse and then took what they got rather than run him in, say, the St James Palace and races like that. He proved that he could handle the drop in distance to 7 and 6 furlongs. He did hint at that maybe with his run in the Alquoz Sprint before he was campaigned in that trip, you see. We dropped him in the trip and it was interesting, you see. It was only after that after the Guineas at 3, they decided he was at 7 furlongs, you see. They still might have been open-minded as whether they had a Queen Anne horse then. But the Alquoz Sprint race might have convinced them to go down the sprint route, and he rewarded them admirably, really, with 2 decent runs. Very interesting stallion, I think this is. Because I think there is a good chance that this horse could produce progeny that stay a bit further than what people think they will do. I think there is a possibility that could happen. The last thing I want to do is watch loads of sprinters go around for 2 years. And if that's what happens with this horse, I've got it wrong. I'm hoping that this produces good horses at 3 over 7 furlongs and a mile. And maybe even further, you see, because the downside of this horse is quite interesting. People have to really get to the 4th dam for it to kick off. But even then, you had horses that were running like Portrayal that easily stayed 1 mile 2 furlongs, winner of the Middleton Stakes at York, the Group 2 race. He also won 3rd in the Prix Robert Papin as well, so it's a versatile horse, but the horse won the Middleton Stakes. This is a horse that stayed 10 furlongs quite comfortably, it's fair to say. So there is others as well that might convince me that it would. You look at horses like, especially under the 4th dam, they start to come then. Because horses like Wareed won the Group 2 Vicomtesse Vigier and won the Troy Stakes at Doncaster, listed race. I think it was his 3rd in the Ascot Gold Cup, over 2.5 miles, and a sire back in the day. Truly a Dream as well. She's placed in a Corrida, Group 3. E.P. Taylor Stakes. These races are not sprints. Dream Peace, placed in the Diana Stakes and the E.P. Taylor as well. Soul Sister, recently an Oaks winner. Last season, I think that was. Or was it the year before now? Dreamfly, my old mate Dreamfly. I've chanced him. He's a miler. Won the Group 3 Thomas Byron, and he won the Omnium 2 listed race at 2. And in the end, he just proved it quite good enough. But his full sister was. Soul Sister, she was a classic winner and Musidora winner. There were good horses in this pedigree that might convince me that Naval Crown was not a sprinter initially. Firstly, the way he was campaigned for a Guineas and he ran in a Guineas. There you go, Allery winner there over 1,100 furlongs, Cerulean Sky over 1 mile 1 furlong, Woodbine, E.P. Taylor. Any fillies on this line, that he breeds. Honolulu won their what's it called at Royal Ascot, the big race that they run, Alexandra Stakes, 2 miles 6 furlongs. Doncaster Cup winner as well. There were horses in this pedigree. If people scroll down it under the 3rd and 4th dam, Moonstone, Oaks winner. You know, now and here's all this little branch that could be coming back into fashion this year, because I found a couple on this line that I could be included if they can win the right races. Moonstone, you got Nelson, who went to Australia, was an Irish Derby runner, I think, won the Ballysacks. Third in the Queen's Vase. This is not the form of sprinters. US Army Ranger, second in the Derby. Words, Munster Oaks winner. Dam of the horse, one of the horses I found this year is on there already, Beautify. Who was third, who won the Early Stud Stakes. You know, that is one. Library, classic watch horse from a few videos back. You know, this is a line that I'm quite familiar with, and I don't associate it at all with sprinters. Landcrest. You know, all them ones. Sibyl of Spain, Master of Reality, Coa Cup, Irish Ledger Trial, third in the Gold Cup again. Like we read, Sibyl of Spain was a miler. Yeah, moderator. Can't say I can place that one. A Horse of the Year in Switzerland in 2020 and 2023. Champion Stayer in Switzerland. Champion Sprinter as well. What a horse. Just goes to show that what is possible. You know, with this damn line. That horse sort of proves the point. You could get a few sprinters. There's the EP Taylor Stakes again, look. This horse won it. Full Count Felicia. Third in the Irish Derby, Orchestra. You know, there's a lot of horses. The George Ryder, they are sprints. You know, they are sprints. Keel Wolf in Australia. But they would train anything to be a sprinter. There's others, there's all some classics. There's a few in Australia. Look. Or Imperialist. Wellington was a sprinter. Champion sprinter in Hong Kong. So let's hope we don't get many of these. Colette, beautiful horse. I remember following her going around in Australia. So versatile. Over sprints, over distances. Winners of 7 furlongs up to 1.5 miles. Empire Road Stakes. Won the Golden Eagle. I'll never forget that day she won that race. Absolutely incredible race. I knew she'd won a furlong out. B-Whacked. Classic Watch 26 possible. Of course is on this line. Of course he is. Winner of the Group 2 Silver Slipper Stakes. Who knows what we're going to get with him next year. Gravina. Bit of a disappointing horse, it's fair to say. And then you've got even like the fourth dam of the horse. If we go back to the fourth dam, fifth dam, Arctic Royale is actually a Guineas winner. You know, if people click on Arctic Royale now, they'll see that she won the Irish Guineas of 1981. She did, there you go. And also a Moyglare Stud winner of 1980. You know, this is a very interesting pedigree we've got here. That could really, not one that you can pigeonhole as a sprinter at all. Which is unusual for some of the first 2-year-old stallions, because a lot of them, you know, do really just throw sprinter after sprinter every year or two. This one, I think, could offer breeders a little bit different, something a bit different, if they're brave enough and shrewd enough to try and get to the bottom of it. Interesting horse, Naval Crown. That's why I've picked it, really. It's fair to say. Before we take a look at the 3 sales, what we're going to do now is we're going to watch Naval Crown win 3 pattern races. We'll watch him win in the listed race and the Group 2 at Meydan. And we'll watch him win the Group 1 at Ascot, Royal Ascot, in 2022. And then we will get stuck into the sales and look at some horses, which is what we're all here for. Try and find some nice horses. And then people at the end of this video can go and watch the video, go to the bank and buy these horses next week for me. Next month, over the next month. And they'll race in our colours. That's the whole point of it, if only. But yeah, very nice horses. I do think they are. The first race, like I said, we're going to take a look at is the listed Meydan Classic. And we're going to take a look at that race now. And then we will see what we think.
Yeah, 1,600 metres the journey across the Meydan turf. They're all set. Gates go back and they're off and racing, sprinting away quickly. Naval Crown straight to the front, but taken on by Maya Harb over on the inside. Sharp Spun just dug up to hold his spot in a brass fashion on the outside. Master of the Seas getting a little bit keen between them, and Newman went back to the rear as they race their way down the back. So William Buick with a bit of a fight on his hands with the Master of the Seas back second to last. It's Maya Harb showing the way as they run down the back, joined by Naval Crown on the outside, 2 lengths away to in a brass fashion. It's up on the outside of Sharp Sharp Spun. Next of all is Master of the Sea, settling a little better now, and Newman back at the rear. 25.78 was the lead as they turn off the back, and Barcelona sent Naval Crown to the front and got out by a length and 3/4. Maya Hub in second. Nebraska Passion was next of all from Sharp Spun. Master of the Sea still travelling strongly second to last, and Newman's at the rear as they travel down the side of the track. The leader Naval Crown switching to the turf after a nice first up run in the Guineas. It's out by a length, Naval Crown over Mayu Hub, Nebraska Passion. Tracking into it, Master of the Seas, followed by Sharp Spun and Newman. Top of the straight now, under 500 metres left to go, and Naval Crown still travels well. Nebraska Passion, Mayu Harb, now Master of the Seas about to be let off the loose, the chain, and Yearling is down the outside. Naval Crown still the one to get. Master of the Seas now chiming in down out in the middle of the track. Naval Crown, a right nautical finish coming up. Naval Crown holding on. Master of the Seas tries, but might be trying in vain. Naval Crown's been beautifully rode by Cal Barcelona, and Naval Crown wins by 2 over Master of the Seas. A gap then to Yearling. They were followed by Mayu Harb, then came Nebraska Passion, and last in Sharp Spun. Performance by Naval Crown, beautifully rated by Macau Barcelona on the lead. And just got that break on Master of the Seas, who was just a little bit keen for the first 400 metres of the race. And Naval Crown has dominated out on the front, and that Master of the Seas has been unable to pick it up. So Naval Crown takes it out.
Very interesting performance that, wasn't it? You know, by Naval Crown to win that listed race. I think that's the race that Yearling Court won this year, the listed Maiden Classic. You know, so it is a race that Godolphin like to use for a good horse. And like the commentator said there, Naval Crown travelled so well in that race, didn't he? And there was not really any excuse at all for subsequent Guineas, runner-up and multiple Group 1 winner overseas, I think he was. Master of the Seas on the day, wasn't he? He was fairly and squarely beaten on the day. Did William Buick give Master of the Seas a little bit too much to do? Arguably, but the horse was travelling so well out in front, he just, at no point, what did the horse ever look like coming back to him, did he? So we move forward a year now until the horse is 4. And we are going back to Maidan and the Group 2, Al Fahidi Fort, which took place on the 21st of January 2022. And this was the first Group 2 victory of the horse. In the year before, we had already been placed in yet another Group 3 and managed to win another 2 Group 3s, actually. He had then been placed in 4 Group 3s and was a listed winner and a Group 1 4th. This was his first Group 2 victory back in January 2022 in the Group 2 Al Fahidi Fort at Maidan. So let's take a look at this race. And again, after that, we will see what we think.
Ready? And they're off. And off to a good start. Ajwad, one of the first to break, ridden out vigorously to get off to the lead. Mangier races in second, then comes Garrulus, who slots it onto the rail, just scrimmaging there with Naval Crown, who tried to barge its way into position. Then comes Sonari in the green and white colours with a free passage over towards the outside. Then comes Story of Light in the maroon and white colours. Could Be King is in the purple silks in midfield. They seem to be going a good pace here. Then just over a length away, we find Zainholm and Storm Damage. They racing together. Now, Land of Legends in the all blue colours. Just behind midfield, Labarossa went around that. Then comes Spirit of Light. They followed by Al Carmel and Ventura Rebel. Been asked a lot of questions at the end of the field, and they're about to swing for home. And Ajwad has ensured a good gallop in front by a little over 1 length. Mangier second. Then comes Sonari, Garrulus, Blue Sleeves and Cap at their outside. Naval Crown barging his way into the clear. Then comes Story of Light. Could Be King was next best, and Storm Damage makes a run towards the inside rail. Land of Legends still 5 lengths adrift, but it's Naval Crown's turn to hit the front. Sonari is second. Story of Light runs a big race in the maroon silks. Could Be King was next next best. It's Naval Crown in the lead. Challengers trying to come, but they're trying to come too late here. And Naval Crown won. Second is very close. Story of Light probably. Zainhom best work late. Mangia. Then came Storm Damage, who was luckless towards the inside. Spirit of Light was after those. They were ahead of Land of Legends. Garrulus next best, and then came El Carmel, Ajwad, and Ventura Rebel. La Barossa. So Naval Crown makes it stick. Barged his way into the race. In fact, the whole race he was never 100% comfortable. He always had competition for position, competition to get where he needed.
There he was. That was actually a odds-on victory that day, ridden by William Buick to secure that race. And I'm not sure that race was as impressive as the first race we saw. It's fair to say, like the commentator said there, William Buick always seemed to not be happy with where the horse was positioned in that race, didn't he, in my view? And he was certainly not in to taking any chances entering the straight. Got the horse out in the open, arguably, like he said, barged his way through. I reckon a Godolphin horse would have to commit murder to get kicked out by the Maidan stewards. I don't think that there'd be a riot. I think, will it ever happen? Who knows? It might have happened already. If it has, then fair play to the stewards. But to me, I don't know. Was there enough interference there to change the result? Probably not. Naval Crown was well on top at the end, wasn't he? As he secured his first Group 2 victory in the 7 furlong Al Fahidi Fort at Maidan. It was then really that Connections maybe could have been a bit shrewd. I know there was a few older horse sprints, like the Abernan and races like that, and the Chip Chase. They could have ran the horse in the early part of the season, but what they decided to do after he'd ran and finished fourth in the Group 1 Alcross sprint is they decided to wait until Royal Ascot. I think so they didn't reveal their hand too much, because I reckon that once the horse had finished fourth in the Alcross sprint and they trained this horse to go sprinting, I reckon that it became pretty soon to them that they could be onto something. Never again did they race the horse above 6 furlongs when the horse ran in 2022, and it was the first chance at the trip. So the horse really fell into sprinting at a late stage, and as a consequence of that, he turned up for the Platinum Jubilee on 18th of June 2022 as a relative outsider. It has to be said, 33-1, only to prove good enough on the day. So we will watch this final Group 1 race that Naval Crown won, and then we will have a look at the video, see what we think, and then we will look at some horses.
24 of them set. And they're off in the £1 million Platinum Jubilee Stakes. Double or bubble away pretty well. Highfield Princess is showing speed, and Campanelle as well as Home Affairs towards the centre of the picture. Near side, Campanelle leading Emiratiana. Highfield Princess and Home Affairs is blazing a trail on the near side under James McDonald in the dark blue. Followed by Naval Crown, Dragon Symbol, Kingslyn, Gustavus Western, Garrus back in that group. On the far side, the extreme left is Minzal, followed by Grenadier Guards with Alcohol Free in behind with Path to Freedom, and also Diligent Harry. Sacred is towards the back. Artorius will need to pass everything, and Creative Force also with plenty to do. They've come past halfway, running down towards the 2. On the near side, it is still Home Affairs that heads this group. On the far side, Grenadier Guards is making quite good headway. Highfield Princess in there. Campanelle is being driven along. Double or bubble. They're struggling a little bit on the near side. Over on the far side, Minzal is finishing pretty well with Creative Force as well. Campanelle in the centre, double or bubble. Highfield Princess, the near side. Naval Crown on the rail. Creative Force, the far side. Artorius is staying on powerfully. And the centre, Creative Force. The near side, Naval Crown. Tight between the Godolphin pair, Naval Crown and Creative Force. Artorius was storming home, having had a lot to do. And these were followed by Highfield Princess. Sacred made headway as well in a blistering Platinum Jubilee.
Like the commentator said there, well on top at the end, I thought, Naval Crown. And it was a truly blistering pace set by the Australian horses. This horse, to be effective over a trip of 6 furlongs, needed them to go, really. at breakneck speed to tire them all out. And I think it is the stamina from the 7 furlong races and the mile races that the horses ran in before that has done him the job that day, isn't it, really? Let's be honest. I mean, the horse has raced by himself and really has just knuckled down at the final stages there. Look, his old mate Creative Force, who beat him in the Jersey last year, boom. Just up on the line. Naval Force, it's fair to say, to win the Group 1 Platinum Jubilee Stakes of 2022. That was, in fact, the last time that the horse managed to get his head in front. 4 subsequent defeats after that, and the horse was retired to stud at the end of the 2022 racing season to go to stud, where he commenced duty, as we know, in 2023 in Ireland. So now we've looked at the sales, we've looked at the Stallion. Now it is time, really, to look at the horses, I think. And there's not many lots, really. There was only 1 lot in one sale, but I've managed to find 3. We've only got 3 horses to go to war with in this video. I wasn't going to include bad horses. I didn't include any other sales. I look at the same 3 sales for the purposes of these videos every year. Persian King and Victor Ladorum, the 2 stallions I chose in the 2 years before these, they would have had a lot more horses for me to pick from in this video than this stallion, Naval Crown. But we've got what we've got. So let's take a look at them, shall we? The first one, we're going to do it in order of sale. We've got 1 at Arqana, 1 at Goffs, and 1 at Tattersalls. We're not going to watch any more videos. It's just going to be a quick look at the pedigrees of the horses for sale. And the first one we're going to take a look at is from Arqana. It is lot 95 out of a dam called Glamour Queen, consigned by Coulances out of Naval Crown. You'll see that this is an interesting one, because it's got an interesting pedigree more than anything. I actually followed Sublimis go round. Sublimis was a stayer. He won the listed Prix Lord Seymour, second in the Group 2 GP de Santé. But he was also placing horses like the Maurice de Noy and the Prix Gladiateur out in France. This horse was not a sprinter. The horse is also related, the second dam of the horse, Be Fabulous, actually a classic winner. Be Fabulous won the French St. Leger in her career and part of her 10 race career. At 4, she won the French St. Leger of 2011. And she also won the listed Prix Scaramouche as well. So the Dam Glamour Queen unraced out of a classic winner related to a horse I used to follow myself, my old mate Sublimis. I think this one is a good to see how this horse does. I mean, Will Godolphin buy this horse. It's not bred by them. I don't think it's bred. It's bred by vendor is a Coulances, and it's the Sandstroms, is it? Are they Calunstrom? That's who's in with J.P. McManus and all them, isn't it? In the what's it called? With Tom George. I might be wrong. But you'll see that these are interesting horse. Lillian Russell as well was also second in the Group 2, Pre-Chaudonnay, and sired by Jubawi, which is the same as this one. Bring back memories. Glamour Queen has bred that one 6th place and 14 times on the flats in Britain and Ireland. Bring back the memories, but there's no black type form at all. The Saxon Warrior side horse, Saxon Queen, ran in Spain in 2025. This is the 3rd foal out of her. You'll see under the 3rd dam, there's another Group 1 winner there, German winner, Price von Europa, Group 1 winner, Bailey Me, and also winning of a Group 2 Classic Trial, the Diana Trial, out in Germany as well. Bailamos, winner of the couple of races there, couple of listed race winners there in Germany. Second in the Merrill Lynch Euro Cup Group 2, the Betty Barclay Renan Group 3 twice, placing a couple of German Group 2 and Group 3 races on several occasions. And then there's the Dam of Bukhara, the second Dam of Bukhara, who won the Grosser Price de Neumann Group 3, and was third in the Derby trial when she was racing in her career. But yeah, interesting horse. You will see there that some of the sales have gone through Glamour Queen sales. You'll see this one, blind date went to 6,000. Bring Back Memories has been sold a couple of times. You'll see there that Saxon Queen went for 16,000 and 50,000. Few have been sold. Very interesting horse, I think it's fair to say. What dam line was it on? It was on a dam line 23, I think it was, wasn't it? Oh no, 8K. It's the sire that was on 23, and with the second dam of this horse being a classic winner, it was quite easy to spot the line. I was actually on the line before I scrolled up and missed it. I actually had the horse poles on the screen, but I couldn't remember what the line number was. So I unfortunately had to change it. There she is there, look. The French Ledger winner. So you can trace this direct line all the way back to 1895 on this brilliant site, which is called bloodlines.net, incidentally. But I think the site is permanently broken. I have to keep going through the Wayback Machine to access it. You'll see there's not much else on the direct dam line all the way back from 1895 on this first one, apart from the French St. Ledger winner of 2011 that is very closely related to ours. Excuse me. So the horse really is what it is, lot number 95, and that is the best one we can find at Arqana. And because it was rated to my old mate Sublimis, and I thought to myself, make a sprinter out of this one. I thought to myself. So we'll see how this one goes on. Lot 95, consigned by Coulances. The next one is at Goffs. Lot 93 at Goffs. This one consigned by the Wiltshire-based Manor Farm. A bay filly sired by Naval Crown out of a dam called Brainy Baxter. Now, this is a very interesting horse, without any shadow of a doubt, in my view. It is also, the first dam is a half-sister to Lickety Lemon. She was also been placed second in the JP Morgan Chase Jessamine Stakes, a listed race, and third in the Group 3 Natalma Stakes at 2. And she's the dam of Cry Freedom, who won the listed Washington Singer Stakes as well, not so long ago. Very interesting horse, because it's the pedigree of Distant View, sorry. You'll see there. If people go back to the fourth dam, La Trinité, she was actually second in the Prix de Cologne and third in the Group 3 Prix de la Grotte, which is a classic trial. There's a Group 1 winner there, Cigar Mile winner True Timber is under the third dam, and a former stallion, maybe still is a stallion. You'll see there the other pattern race place horses under the second dam as well. But it's when you go back to horses like Regal State, who won the Group 1 pre-morning. She's the dam of another Group 1 winner, Pleasantly Perfect, winner of the Pacific Classic Stakes, the Breeders' Cup Classics, and the Dubai World Cup. And that is a sire as well. Hurricane State won the Group 3 pre-eclipse and stallion as well. Gouda Terroir bred a champion 2-year-old filly in France and champion 2-year-old filly in Europe back in 2011. Elusive Kate, she also won the Group 1 Falmouth Stakes and the Group 1 pre-Marcel Boussac in her career. Seven Springs won the Group 1, which is now a Group 2, pre-Robert Papin in France, and she's the dam of Distant View. The champion 3-year-old miler in Europe in 1994, and the champion 3-year-old colt in Europe, in winner of the Group 1 Sussex Stakes, second in the Group 1 St James's Palace Stakes, and a former champion sire at some point. So you will see that the dam line on this horse, I think, is quite solid. You'll see there that it's dam line 16A. There is Two Starter, who was second in the listed pre-Pepinair, the first black type dam on the horse. She is in fact the second dam of the horse that we are interested in. And it's when I went and saw we've got some very interesting horses, when I looked on the historic dam line of 16A, because this is the section that Cesario is on as well. Cesario is a very well-bred horse out in Japan who sires. She was a mare that won Group 1 races and sired Epiphania and Leontes and something else, another stallion, Saturnalia. So this line is still very much going strong out in Japan. And you've got there Pleasantly Perfect and Regal State. On our little section there that we've already looked at, Irish Derby winner of 1995, Winged Love, is, if people go back to Peseta, who would be the sixth dam of this horse, they will get to horses like Pia, the Great British Oaks winner of 1967. And you've also got horses like Winged Love, like I said. Charmiad, 1994 Italian Derby winner, sired by Alleged, is also quite closely on this line, as well as the 1963 French Derby winner Sanctus. And the line, in fact, goes all the way back, if people want to go back, to 1923. And the French 2,000 guineas winner of that year, Sir Galahad, is actually on this line as well. Yeah, so some very interesting horses on this line. You've got some with Cesario, it's very, very interesting. They've got Epiphany as one of the best stallions in Japan. Leontes, I think, sired a classic winner this year, Museum Hill. And some very interesting horses about at the moment on this line. So, yeah, bit of a no-brainer, this one. Lot 93 at Goffs. We'll have that one as well. And credit to the vendors, Manor Farm. They've come up with a lovely horse there, I think. And it'll be very interesting to see how this horse goes. Last but not least, we're off to Tattersalls now in October, lot 133. And in fact, this was the only lot by Naval Crown who made it into book one. So I didn't even have to search for them all and find the best ones, because they'd already done it for us. You know, obviously this was the best one, or else there'd have been more Naval Crowns in book one, wouldn't there? So it's quite an easy one to stick on the list, this one. Lot number 133, out of a dam called Expert, who is already the dam of a Group 2 winner. She is the dam, can we expand that? It's a bit small, isn't it? Who is the dam of the Group 2 winner, Winter Continental Stakes winner in Group 2, Pipsy, sired by Kodiak. And she has also won a Group 3 as well, the Soaring Softly Stakes at Belmont in Group 3, as well as the listed Legacy Stakes at Dundalk. She also has a 2025 colt by Knight of Thunder, and an unraced colt by Gayath as a 2-year-old this year, who currently hasn't raced, Expert. You'll see that there's plenty of pattern form on this one as well. The second dam, Armen Cien, was listed placed, and she is also the dam of Ziad. Ziad was second in the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud Group 1 and the Group 2 winner of the Grand Prix de Deauville, also winner of the Prix Michel Hooivet listed race, placed in many a pattern race, also placed in the International, the Canadian International as well. So the horse was placed in 3 Group 1 races, Ziad. And you've also got Monty. Monty went round quite well in France recently. Monty managed to win a couple of Group 3 races, won La Coupe de Maison Lafitte and La Coupe de Paris Longchamp Group 3, and was also placed in a couple of Group 2 races, the Prix de Conseil de Paris and the Prix de Harcourt, as well as winning those couple of Group 3 races. And if that's not enough for you, the third dam is a Gaff. This is a very well-bred horse. A Gaff, the third dam, winning the Group 3 Prix de Psyche, placed in 2 classics, placed in the French 2,000 guineas, and also third in the Oaks that year. Dam of 6 winners, Artiste Royale, Group 1 winning horse twice, won the Charles Whittingham Memorial Handicap and the Clement L. Hirsch Memorial, as well as being a stallion. Aqua Realist, the champion older mare in Europe in 2002, winner of the Prix de Diane, the French Oaks in her year. She also won the Prix Vermeil and the Prix Gannet, the Prix Foy as well, and the Prix Foy, second in the Arc as well. She's also bred a horse that was placed second in the Prix Jean Romanet Group 1, Aimé Bleu. And Enkov, you will see, very good horse as well. Won 5 races, including a listed race in Australia, the Melbourne Plate. Placed in a Group 2 CB Cox Stakes and at France as well, La Coupe. That side a few in his way as well. Legacies, out of Abyssini, won the Anzac Day Stakes at Sandown Hillside. I missed that one. I remember that one going round, I think. Dallas Star as well, winner of the Group 3 Ballysacks, out of Agath Bar as well. 3 races up to this year where the horse has won. Is there any more to come out of that? Not what I'm with at the minute, but a Gaff, such a beautifully bred horse on dam line 8F. You know, what a classic Albertine line, Almira line, call it whatever you want. You know, there's so many horses on this line. It is incredible, really. But the very distinct relatives that we've looked at, that's what we've got. But if people were to go back to the 4th dam, Albertine, the page would be about 15 pages long. You know, very good horse. You know, the horses like Luxembourg, I think recently have been on there. Actually, let me pause the video quickly, and I'll see if I can get one of Dr. Shigeru Hotta's diagrams up on an Albertine horse that's won since he's been doing his book, and then we can promote his book in the video as well. So you bear with me a second, please. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Yes, there we go. We've got Luxembourg up on the screen now. Luxembourg, I know, was on the Albertine line. You'll see there's a Gaff. Not as many as I would have thought, to be honest. It's a line that really was very prolific in the 80s and the 90s, in the 1980s and the 1990s. But Dr. Shigeru Hotta only does horses born after the year 2000. You'll see we've had Bolshoi Bally, Torquil. But this is our section, Albertine, and there's a Gaff. Artiste Royale just scraped in. Angara out of Orange Bleu. There's some very interesting horses on this line. Alaskan Queen, Flag of Honour, Trushan, Sarafina, Siam Camille, Newport. You see, have all won in the year 2000. They're all after Albertine, but that is our section. If people go back to Ad Gloria and Ad Altior in the 50s, they can take pretty much all of these as being related to the horse that we're buying. But you'll see that we're only on the Gaff line. If people look at this line historically, you see, with the Guineas winner on it, they get a pretty good idea of horses like Cape Verde are here. Arctique Royale, we know was a classic winner as well. Oh, that was on the last horse, wasn't it? Cape Verde line. This is Aquarelist, you see. And you've also got horses all just above it from like Commanding Jewel, Atlantic Jewel in Australia. But yeah, this is a line I like. There's Almira, Albertine as well on here. Aquarelist is quite closely related to ours. There's a Gaff, the third dam of our horse. And there's more evidence of Luxembourg, horses like that. Bolshoi Ballet recently have gone round on it. Flag of Honour. Plenty of 3 cool horses that I've just named there. They've had a good go on it. Torquil, I think, is the dam of the horse I'm following this year, isn't it? That was nearly placed in the Oaks. What's it called? Saïd bin Suur trains it for Hamdan Al Maktoum. Can't remember what the name is. It's on Classic Watch 25 anyway. But yeah, very interesting horse this. Lot number 95. Not number 133, sorry. Naval Crown. Out of Expert. And we can end this video with an advert. Where did the Luxembourg video come from? Lineage of Thoroughbred. hotpedigree.com/lineage. Privately published book, Lineage of Thoroughbred, in English and Japanese by Dr. Shigeru Hotta, a Japanese vet studying the pedigree of horse racing and looking into breeding. The 3rd edition of the book is now finished. He is now on the 4th edition, which will be issued around soon, hopefully. People waiting for this book. He is waiting for it to be issued around September 2025 currently. What people will get, 46-page scientific review in Japanese, a 47-page scientific review in English, the importance of dam lineage, risk of inbreeding, need for scientific education, and potential of unknown gene. Yeah, that is the book, the 3rd edition, no longer for sale. People are able to contact Shigeru Hotta DVM on Twitter at Hotta_Shigeru, or they can also email Dr. Hotta as well by clicking on the website link, hotpedigree.com/lineage. But also what people will get in this book, as well as the scientific review, people will get pattern race diagrams of every single Group 1 winner worldwide for nearly 3.5 years. January the 1st, 2022 was the first horse entered when Entrevier won the Railway Stakes halfway through the Australian season or the New Zealand season, halfway through the season. That's the trouble with racing. You can't split it. And Dr. Hotter would have found that out. He said, I'll wait till the end of the season and then I'll stop and then I'll publish. And it's just not an end of the season because the end of one season is halfway through the other. You know, he's kept going all the way through to 2022, all the way to the current date. The last horse entered, arguably the best bred horse on the list, unless it's entered relatives to it, my old mate Sajir. Yeah, very interesting website this, and that's where you can order this book from Dr. Shigeru Hotta via email or Twitter. hotpedigree.com/lineage is the name, and you get that for every horse. You know, he starts and he lists every Group 1 winner born after the year 2000 on it. So then it's just a matter of using these images combined with other old sites that do it for a lot longer than what he's been doing it for. And that will take you. So we know that Cape Verde is on the same line as these. Legendary Guineas winner, Cape Verde, one of the best ever. Even despite Dr. Hotter not telling us it is, you see. They've not left it off to mislead people. He's just had to leave it off to fulfill criteria. Because if he didn't have criteria with certain horses, he'd be able to wallpaper his house with these. Because guess what? The same damn lines win a lot of the good races. You know, a little bit of racing secrecy for you there to end the video. But like I said there, hotpedigree.com/lineage is where people can buy the book. Hotpedigree.com, Lineage of Thoroughbred. Series 4, the 4th edition, issued around September 2025. All right. I think I can think about ending this video now, I think. Let's close a few tabs down. And end the video. Naval Crown, £9,000, 9,000 euros ago. What are people going to get? That is what people need to know. And it won't be long, this time next year, I think, ahead of all the major European Group 1 races, people will have some sort of idea of what sort of horses this horse is going to foal, I think. And hopefully, I'm hoping for a lot of 7 furlongs and 1 mile 2-year-old winners. And even more 7 furlongs and 1 mile plus Group 3 classic prospects out of this stallion. I don't think it's a sprinter, even though its form may be. If you look at the win of Master of the Seas, classic placed horse, this horse was more than capable of mixing it with some very good horses over a mile. You know, that's what I'm looking for it to produce. Will it? Time will tell. But in the meantime, I think I can end this video here now. Thank you very much to everybody for taking the time to watch the video. As always, it is very much appreciated. What I will do is I will leave a copy of the playlist containing all my videos around sales. There is a quick YouTube playlist on there somewhere. I will leave a copy of that so people can watch it. They can see the Persian King videos, the Victor Ladoran videos on it. And what I will also do is I will give everybody an opportunity who has watched this video without subscribing to the channel up to this point. I will give you all an opportunity to subscribe to the channel as well. That way you will not miss any more content moving forward, whether that be about National Hunt racing, National Hunt sales, maybe there will be some Classic Watch 25 horses still to come on the site that you might be interested in. The Southern Hemisphere season has just started on the 1st of August. So, like you saw, Classic Watch 26, possible, the only one that exists so far, BWACT, is actually related to one of the horses I'm suggesting people buy this year. Sired by Naval Crown, so it'll be interesting to see how it all comes together. But for now, I can end this video here. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Have a fantastic week. Stay cool if you need to. It's very hot out there. If you've got any underlying conditions that you suffer in heat, you're probably better off staying out of the way, it's fair to say, in the southern part of the UK, at least until Friday afternoon, when, believe it or not, I've got an appointment in the 80-degree heat. So it'll be Mad Dogs and Englishmen. You could argue I am both of them. We'll be out in the midday sun on Friday. But for now, I think I'll leave this video here now. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and goodbye.